We are in year number 3 of the Hash It Out Show Game of the Week as we are concluding week number 1 of the 2025 prep high school season. And it's the battle of the Seven War between the St. Augusta Purple Knights and the McDonough 35 Ron Eagles. Here with us right now is the head coach of the McDonough 35 Ron Eagles that has been a part of the rivalry in both sides. Coach Frank Daggs. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, Vashon, how you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, man. And I mentioned it itself that you are part of the rivalry in both ways. You were a player at St. Augustine on the offensive line, going against the McDonough 35 Round Eagles, and then years and years later, worked your way into coaching, and over 20 years now at McDonough 35 total. You was on the opposite side of it, man. But how it's been, more than anything else, making that adjustment from a player to a coach. But I know you're used to it now.
Man, it been since year 23 for me. So, and when I first started in 2003, that season, it was a hard adjustment because everything's about playing, 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 and coaching was like, okay, I had to coach these kids, and I buckled down that summer and went to camps, went to clinics, learned from the best, man. I look at guys right now that's coaching in the NFL and also coaching in the college levels that I learned from coaching defensive line, And I look at them guys, talk to them guys whenever chance I get and send them messages like, keep it up, And now look at me 23 years later, still coaching and we are still talking to each other and still picking each other brains, about the defensive line position and other things also.
Very much agreed. And I tell you, man, football is definitely in your blood, coach, and you have been a part of it a long time. And it's great that you have been giving it back for a while and really putting these kids in positions to be successful in life.
Yes, sir. That's the goal. That's my goal as a coach to make sure I mentor these young guys and show them the right direction and help develop them to good young men and make sure that when they come to me as a freshman, that by their senior year they go into college or enlist in the army or they go into the workforce to be an entrepreneur or something like that. But they're going to do something.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your squad this year, your 2025 Ron Eagles. What do we expect from McDonough 35 this season?
Man, to be honest, I'm still, we use our first three games to kind of judge on what type of team we're gonna have. Uh, we're very young on in certain spots. Guys that never played football on a varsity level is starting right now. And other spots they have 2 or 3 year starters. So I'm waiting to see how those guys gonna no, coming this game, it's a great game coming up this week with all the fans and the bands playing and things like that to see if they're gonna be distracted or they gonna know what to do, they won't and make plays. So I use these first three games for that, and that helped me out for the rest of the season, then to know what we need to do and also change up a bit of things so we can be successful.
I tell you, man, very tough district in itself this year. It continues to get better and better and everything. Um, can you tell us a bit about your players are gonna lead the way for the Ron Eagles this season?
Well, we have a sophomore quarterback, Dedrick Peters, and he's grown drastically since the spring, but he's still a work in progress. And we have Hodge Jackson, our receiver, and also Jamira Scott is another receiver. They are seniors, so like I said, I'm old in spots and young in others. And on the defensive side, we have Justin Ross in the defensive backfield, and Eric Ville on the defensive line, and they're old. They're 3 year starters for us and things like that. So they're gonna lead the way on the defense and try to help the other guys that I have that's first year, first time playing football on a big stage coming up this week. To help them guide them to be like, come on, keep it going, don't be nervous, and let's just play football.
Very much agreed. And I know some of the guys, like you said, first timers stepping into the first time in this battle between 35 and St. Augustine. What approach you're going into this game this week more than anything else? Last week, an intense battle against Kennedy. But I know this week is a different question. It's a different opponent. But I know St. Augustine is very familiar to you. And what are your thoughts on the Purple Knights?
Purple Knights, Coach Valdez is doing a tremendous job over there with his staff and coaching real well. And I expect a good battle. I really think that our guys, we had a good little practice today, all mental work, mental reps, and I think that they're learning what to do. And by the end of the week, they'll have everything down pat. As a game plan wise. The battle overall, I think St. Augustine have a real talented team, man, and we're gonna step in and play some good football against them.
Very much understandable there. You know, uh, like you mentioned, the schedule gets tough more than anything else. Your first three games really tells a lot, for your team and everything. But what are your thoughts on your district this season and how we can continue to get better and better each year?
Man, the district I think is gonna be real competitive. Like always, man. Guys go and they learn, and guys do a good job coaching them guys, and I think that each game, each week will be a good competitive game for district wise. You got Douglas, you got Culver, you got Abramson, and also McMain. And we use, like I said, we use this pre-district to get ready for that. And by the time we get to those games, like week 5 and 6 and on, I think we'll be a well-oiled machine.
Very much agree. Very much agreed. Any of your players is being looked at being recruited, especially this season for 2026.
Well, currently, Hodge Jackson is committed to South Alabama. He committed this past summer. Uh, Eric Vales is being recruited. Justin Ross is being recruited, and those guys there are, excuse me, those guys there are being recruited by mid-major Division I programs, and they're calling every weekend, talking about asking if they could come out to visit here or there, things like that. So I think that three guys are my top recruits for this senior class as of right now. That's going into week 1. I think there's a couple more that's going to have a good season, and a couple of underclassmen going to have a good season. And I think we have more, as the season goes on.
Look like the good thing about preparing for St. Augustine that you have a whole at least 5 days, 5 6 days to prepare for the Purple Knights. So but I know things is not going to be easy after a Saturday game, right? I know it's going to be a Friday, Thursday.
Man, look, Saturday games is too long for me, but I like the prep time. I tell you that. We use it wisely. We got a lot of mental work. We do a lot of we slow it down a bit. Put it that way. We slow it down a bit to teach them guys, man. Teach them guys so they can play fast come Saturday. And once we do that, we go on to the next week, which we play, I think, the Friday after. All right, so that's taking a day away from us from preparing because of the fact we play on a Saturday. So the next day we get in the lab and we'll do the film, correct the mistakes from the previous game, and then we start breaking down the next week game. And from that point, the game plan got to be in by Sunday night, so we can have the script for the week for practice, and also we have everything broken down what we're gonna do.
And tell us a little bit about the atmosphere of this rivalry more than anything else. It's always a huge crowd for this ball game between Mac 35 and St.
Man,
Augustine. You've been
right,
both sides of the
right.
fence, but how the atmosphere is going to look this Saturday night.
Well, I think we may be. I ain't see this upcoming schedule. I think we used to be the only game in town on that Saturday. I ain't see the schedule yet to see who all play on that Saturday. But uh, it used to. Now, funny you ask. It used to be on Labor Day weekend also. It looked like we had Labor Day a week early this year or something. It used to be on Labor Day weekend, so everybody would be off. to come to the game on, for a little extra day off or whatever. They'll travel from Atlanta or Houston. And a lot of families to get together at the game and go on both sides of the field, St. Augustine side and McDonough 35 side, and they mingle with each other. It's like a big family atmosphere in the stands. And I like it. Being a part of this, excuse me, being a part of this game since 1992 and knowing, right, I was a freshman in high school, knowing the importance of it, man, it's a good feeling. It's a big game.
Absolutely. Frank Daggs of the McDonough 35 Ryan Eagles. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it on the Hash Out Show Game of the Week. We're gonna have y'all again later on this season against George Washington Carver. So, but I definitely appreciate the opportunity to talk with you and getting you on the air for a couple games this season.
Oh, man, thank you for showing. Thank you, and JB and everything y'all do for high school football, man, and keep it going in the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana.
Absolutely. Hash It Out Show Game of the Week as we cover the best teams in the state of Louisiana.